hanging out at a farm equipment car show. I didn't realize that it was Lincoln's first. Oh, okay. All right. When I was at the University of Minnesota, I worked at. I did the Minneapolis Pride Parade one year. That's a big one. That was a big one. I drove the. I worked at KSTV. It was like the local broadcast station, and so we had like one of their vehicles that was wrapped, and so we had like all the event staff like driving, walking around it, and then like standing out in the sunroof. It was cool. I've never been so much fun. Have you ever been to like any other pride parades outside of Lincoln? I bet the LA one's crazy too. Oh, we were talking about different pride parades, how the LA one's crazy, and you were going to say something else about the Lincoln one, maybe? I don't know. That happens to me too. No worries. If you think of it. Me too. When I was a kid and lost my train of thought, my parents would be like, well, you'll probably think of it later. And I'd be like, I don't think I will, and I wouldn't. Yeah. So,
Good morning. I'll wait 7 more seconds to officially say it till we are live. Good morning and welcome to Neighbors. So happy to be here worshiping with you. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I am going to start things off with an original song I wrote about my daughters. I thought would be appropriate for Father's Day today. So.
Juvenile.
your daisy lanes, run barefoot in the rain. If only for a moment now, the sunlight on your brow, to see your laughter shine and sing like a wind chime. Daughter, to me you'll always be, no matter what the weather. I am yours forever, daughter, to me. Will return again with wrinkles to our hands, swimming through the seasons. Might feel like we're dreaming, if only for a moment now. If I could slow it down to sing this lullaby and wrap your hands in mine, daughter, to me you'll always be, no matter what the weather. I am yours forever, daughter, to me you'll always be, no matter what the weather. I am yours forever, you're part of me. Thank you. Well, that song's debut. I thought it would be appropriate for Father's Day. I was thinking about how quickly time goes by. My kids are not very old, but already it just seems like they're just growing up so fast. And there's all these times that we wish we could bottle up and just keep. But I'm very grateful. It's Father's Day today. Sorry, and that song is in a very strange tuning. Now, if you'd like to join me singing this next one, this is a traditional hymn called Holy, Holy, Holy. All right. Holy, 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 Lord God Almighty, early in the morning our song you. It's so nice to have the lyrics up and be able to sing together again. If you join me in a morning prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for your grace that is all around us all the time. The passage of time moves so quickly, and it's hard to appreciate everything that you give to us. But we are here today to take a pause and soak in your love and all the love between us. Amen. If you want to shout, want to right some wrong, you can sing about it in a righteous song. And if you have a voice to raise your voice up higher, you can be a singer in the justice choir. If you are a citizen of heavy heart, you can take a tenor or an alto part. You can be a flame in a great big fire. You can be a singer in the justice choir and sing out, make a better world, make a sound wave like a flag unfurled. Ring out like a liberty bell, ring out the truth you tell. Sing out, make it be known, sing like the trumpets of Jericho. Sing out at the tyrant's wall, sing until the last brick falls. Sing about courage in the face of fear, sing about light when the darkness nears. Sing about truth to the shameless liar, sing about freedom in the justice choir. Sing about the weak in the halls of power, sing about the earth in a desperate hour. Sing about the poor and the rich conspire, sing about love in the justice choir. Sing out, make a better world, make a sound wave like a flag unfurled. Sing out like a liberty bell, ring out the truth you tell. Sing out and make it be known, sing like the trumpets of Jericho. Sing out at the tyrant's wall, sing until the last brick falls. Sing until the last brick falls.
Nice. That's a hard one to learn, isn't it? It's,
yeah, I mean,
but everyone sounds
not
so good.
quarterly. It's literally just one note.
Yeah.
I actually added to the arrangement by doing a C chord, but singing-wise, it is very challenging to.
Good lyrics,
twister,
though.
you know.
It's good lyrics, though. It's very wonderful. Welcome, everybody, to church. Glad that everyone's here today. Oh, hi, guys. I didn't see you come in. It's good to see you. If you're just joining us online or if you're here for the first time, I'm Pastor Trevor, pastor of Neighbors Church. I want to welcome you here. It's been a wonderful week, and we're going to talk a little bit about stuff. Also, first off, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, and also those of us that are remembering our fathers or people that have had father figures in their lives. However the case may be, we just want to honor that and welcome that. Also, you know, I know that this is past, but I did want to just acknowledge that it's now a holiday. The Juneteenth is now a holiday, and it made me feel good, and so today I just wanted to share that too. Yes, and so. And so that's not really an announcement, but more of just another thing to celebrate today, and so we are grateful for that too. So happy Juneteenth to everybody. We do have some announcements though. Connect with us if you would like to connect with us and know what's going on in our neighbors world here. All you have to do is grab your phone and text neighbors to 402-512-1856. You can also email us any questions or comments at info@neighborscommunity.org. And generosity, we are really trying to get this church off the ground. We're, I don't want to say we're in survival mode, but it kind of is. You know, the benefits of the grant money starts to fade away, and we need to kind of fly like little birds, I guess, and be independent and stuff. You like the little bird thing there? Yeah, that really looked convincing. Transparency, this is where our goal is $125,000 this year. Where we're at right now is $31,947. So we have a little ways to go, and every bit helps. And so if you would like to contribute, you can go to neighborscommunity.org, which is our webpage. Just go on the corner there. It says give, I think, or something like that. Or you can mail checks to 575 Fallbrook Boulevard, Lincoln, Nebraska, 68521. There's also a giving box if you're here over there by the donuts. Another way to help us grow is to, if you're watching online or if you're here and you have your phones, just like, share, do all of that stuff. Just get the word out. And another great way you can spread the word is just invite people to church. We're meeting here in person now. We have donuts, and there's always a little bit left over. So just ask a friend, a family member, just, hey, you want to come to church with us? It's kind of cool. Yeah, we're the cool church. And so we would really appreciate spreading the word on that as well. And one thing that we used to do when we used to meet in person, and now that we are meeting in person again, is we used to take 3 minutes, and we're going to try to do that again. 3 minutes to get yourself some coffee, or to say hi to a neighbor, to reset, to go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do in that 3 minutes. And so we're going to take that 3 minutes, and we'll come back, and we'll have the message then. So we'll start with 3 minutes.
Neighbor, welcome again to this neighborhood. I'd like to show you something. You know what this is? Or maybe if I press this button. This is a cassette player with a little cassette in here, and there's nothing written on it, so we'll just have to play it to see what it is. Do you ever imagine things? Are they scary things? Are they scary things? Do you ever imagine things? Things you'd like to have? Did you ever see a cat's eyes in the dark and wonder what they were? Did you ever pretend about things like that before? Did you ever pretend about things like that? Did you ever grow anything in the garden of your mind? In the garden of your mind. You can grow ideas in the garden of your mind. In the garden of your mind. It's good to be curious about many things. You can think about things and make believe. All you have to do is think, and they'll grow. Imagine every person that you see is somewhat different from every other person in the world. Some can do some things, some can do others. Did you ever think of the many things you've learned to do? Did you ever grow anything in the garden of your mind? You can grow ideas in the garden of your mind. It's good to be curious about many things. You can think about things and make believe. All you have to do is think, and they'll grow. Did you feel like going like that? Let's give the fish some food. Mr. McFeely, I didn't order any whistle. That's what they call a slide whistle. Did you feel like going like that? There are so many things to learn about in this world, and so many people who can help us learn. Did you ever grow anything in the garden of your mind? In the garden of your mind. You can grow ideas in the garden of your mind. In the garden of your mind. It's good to be curious about many things. You can think about things and make believe. All you have to do is think. You can think about things and make believe. All you have to do is think, and they'll grow.
Well, that was neat. I just like seeing people being able to say hi to each other and remind us that we're a neighborhood. The thing that I love about neighbors is that we might sit at various places in the room, or even at home, but we always remember that we're a community. We always remember that we are a neighborhood. A neighborhood is such a good analogy for me because if you move into a neighborhood, you don't know who's going to be living next to you. You don't know who's going to be living across the street and all that stuff. And sometimes it brings challenges and sometimes it brings blessings. But we work through those. We continue to find ways to live in this world together, to respect each other, to give dignity to each other. those are the things that even when we disagree with somebody, I hope that the Christian message that we have and that the neighbor's message that we have is that we can still bring about peace and love in this world. And so that's what I'm hoping for. Getting to that, we have been doing the Ten Commandments. And that's something that usually when people hear, they think that, oh, great, this is going to be an hour of scolding. And I really hope that it's not been that way for you guys. I hope that as we've gone through these, we have maybe learned to look at them in a little bit more of a kinder way. And so we've been going through these, and we're halfway through now. We've had 5 of these so far, and if you want to go online and look back on our YouTube page, you can find them there. We've had no other gods before me, no graven images or likenesses, no, don't make wrongful use of my name, remember the Sabbath day, and honor your father and mother. Today is a long one. It just says, you shall not murder. I think we can all agree on that too, shouldn't we? I want to give you a little history on this. You'll see in the lower corner here, there's a term here, it's a name, it's called ratzah. It's Hebrew, and that's what they're actually talking about, you shall not ratzah. Ratzah is a term that means homicide, basically. It means the killing of another person that way. It means murder. A lot of us, if we grew up with the Ten Commandments, we might hear old translations where it said, you shall not kill. But the actual, what we're seeing here is a more accurate translation, you shall not murder. For years, that has allowed people, many people have said, well, that doesn't include then war. It doesn't include capital punishment. It doesn't include a lot of things there, because what they're talking about is an intent to hurt someone. And accurately, if we look at the actual verbiage of this, that's right. They're talking about a specific of taking another person's life through anger, vengeance, things like that. So that's interesting. It doesn't, and so we have to remove that blanket thing there. But that does create a couple of loopholes as we look at our history and things like that. And so I want us to, I spent a good deal of time this week, actually just yesterday, with a number of people that I witnessed people that saw things in black and white. Very much boom or boom. And if you were boom, you didn't like boom. And so to look at something like this, a lot of people do look at Scripture and it says that, and that's what it means, and so we go on with this, and we just live by that, and that means that when I can take this, and I can use that to lecture you on something like that, or I can judge you on something like that, because it says it right here. Something happened with the Old Testament that really screwed things up. His name was Jesus, and he liked to come in and say, oh, that's what you thought it said, but it actually says a little bit more of this, because at the time that Christ walked the earth, people were very rigid on that black and white stuff, and they loved to use that black and white message, not necessarily for themselves, like I'm going to live a straight and narrow life. It was, I'm going to live by that message so I can tell you how to live a straight, and Jesus saw this. And he saw the hypocrisy in this, and he saw how people were being quite vicious to each other and quite punishing of each other. The people that were taking these intended things here, this message from God of just don't hurt each other, but people were taking this and finding loopholes in it, and they were finding ways to distort it and finding ways to turn it into another way that we could hurt people. And so Jesus is questioned about things like this, and his response from Matthew 5:21-22, you've heard that it was said to those of ancient times, you shall not murder, and whoever murders shall be liable to judgment. But I say to you that if you are angry with a brother or sister, you will be liable to judgment. And if you insult, the term there is a Greek term, it's called racha. and that means to verbally abuse somebody. Verbally abuse somebody. We've all been there, and we've all done it too. If you insult a brother or sister, you will be liable to the council. And if you say "you fool," if you're calling somebody a fool, that is judgment. That is where we talk about the judgment of I'm right, you're wrong, black and white, all of this kind of stuff. You will be liable to the hell of fire. Now, the hell of fire is a loose term. When Jesus was talking about the term that he used in this day, Gehenna, it's Hebrew, people were not thinking about the afterlife of burning eternally. What they were talking about was an actual place where people often, and this is, they would throw waste here and they would burn it, but it was also a place where pagan rituals would sacrifice children, and they would burn them. It's a very horrible, horrible thing, but it was an actual, real place. And so what Jesus is saying is that the actions that you take against each other, the fate that it will lead you. Now, Jesus is not saying, yeah, we're going to leave a space for you and you're going to go there, you know. Jesus talked a lot in metaphor. He talked a lot in parables. He talked a lot in there. So what he's saying is that this is going to harm you. You're going to feel bad about this if you treat each other poorly. So when we talk about the commandment there of you shall not murder, Jesus is the one that actually says there's more to it than that. And you have to look at everything that you hear about in the Bible of what is the reason for this. We don't hear that very often. Sometimes we just like to look for the rules or the things that we can check off, or sadly, the things that we can use as a weapon. The Bible has never been intended to be used as a weapon. Granted, if somebody breaks in your house, you got one of those big old ones, smack them with it. It'll work for that. But don't use the words to harm each other. That's the message that Jesus takes this commandment, and we have to take everything that we learn from the Old Testament into the words of Christ, because Christ does what? He makes those words come to life. And the life that he gives those words is don't harm each other. That you say murder, I say talking badly about each other. You say killing somebody, I say disrespecting somebody. You say being something with homicide. I say just hurting somebody with words and judging them as if you are superior to them. Christ is saying that this simple message here is something that every single one of us has done. Every single one of us has done this. This hurts us because we love to have this one checked off as, well, at least I've never killed somebody. And Christ is saying, actually, you know what? Sometimes your actions have really endangered the love of me. They've really murdered the Spirit of Christ because of the actions that you've taken, because of the way that you've judged another person, because of the way that you've put down another person, because of the way that you have bullied somebody, because of the way that you have called somebody that doesn't agree with you or doesn't live the same way that you do a fool. We can learn a lot about the way to treat one another when we talk about Christ. And the way that Christ simply treated each other was just with respect, dignity, honor. And any time that we float beyond that into a hateful way or a judgment way, Jesus is telling us that we have committed that sixth commandment, that we have indeed committed some kind of a murder that's equal to that. You know, people say people have used this term, you're killing my spirit, you know, or don't let it steal your peace. We can easily do that to one another. We live in such a polarized way right now that we can easily stand on this side and feel quite self-righteous by hurting another side. We've tried the hurt and the hate for generations in our world, and it's never worked. And that's what Jesus is saying by this hateful acts of our, the way that we treat each other, the prejudice, the bigotry. It just burns forever. It's like this wasteland over here that has been used for horrible, horrible things. It belongs there. That's where your hatred belongs. It belongs there. This, the challenge of us, if we call ourselves Christians, the challenge that we have is, are we preaching love? Are we preaching love? You know, yesterday, I can't believe it was yesterday. It feels like it was last week. But Lincoln had, the capital city had the first ever Pride Parade in Lincoln. Monumental. And what is the Pride Parade? Is it a parade that just is only open to people of certain lifestyles? And in that regard, you could say the same thing about Juneteenth, I suppose. Does that mean that it's just for certain folks? These are opportunities. Every one of these is an opportunity for us to celebrate our neighborhoods, our communities. When I say our neighborhoods, I'm talking about the kingdom of heaven. I'm talking about the entire world. Every one of these is an open door where Jesus is saying, this is another option where you can look somebody in the face and say, I love you. That's why we're here. Don't murder the Spirit. And we had people there. We took part in the very first parade of this kind. Oliver was there. He made a sign there. And we marched in this. And I tell you, I had never done anything like that before. Because, you know, if it involves walking, I really don't want any part of it. But we were able to step out. And I don't know how this worked out, but right behind us was a float that was, they had a great PA system and sound system, and so we had music. We had our own music going with us. We had Gail in her convertible there. She was sad that the parade was only 5 miles an hour. She wanted to do 80, but I know, she's just a hot rodder. But we were able to just go on this parade, and as soon as we made this turn, people saw us. They saw that we were a church. They saw that we were welcoming and inviting, and people cheered. It was the friendliest parade and the kindest parade I've ever been a part of. And I remember when we first made the first turn, I was walking with Allison, and we both started to tear. Because it was a moment, I get worked up about love. It was a moment of love. It was a moment of acceptance, and I turned to her and I said, this is what it felt like the first time that I ever served communion. It was that touching. It was that meaningful, because there were people of all different lifestyles. There were people of all different races. There were people, just people cheering each other on. And Allison turned to me and she said, I think this is what the kingdom of heaven looks like. Definitely has that color. It's not black and white. It's colorful. It's beautiful. But even in situations like this, unfortunately, there were some folks that did not want that feeling to be there. I made one turn, and I ran into these folks. Now, their signs are very welcoming, but their words were really not. Their words were telling people that they were going to burn in hell. One of them had a little PA system, and they were doing the best they could to make people feel small, to make people feel unloved. And this is me in front of them, repeating, God loves you just as you are. As they were spewing a lot of hateful things, I was yelling, God loves you just as you are. And one of them pulled me aside, and by the shirt that I was wearing, could tell that I was a pastor, and said, you are leading people to hell, and called me an evil spirit. Not the worst thing I've been called, but, and then proceeded to continue on with a lot of hateful things. It gave me just a taste of what some folks in our world experience almost every day. I just had a taste of it, and it wasn't very comfortable. I felt empowered, though. I felt empowered because at the end of the day, I truly felt like I was doing what Christ has called me to do. I truly felt like I was doing the thing that helps us to spread that love of Jesus, that doesn't kill that spirit of loving each other. And these weren't the ones that even people were worried about. We've all heard of the Westboro Baptist Church. They often have very offensive signs. They've been around for a long time. They picketed the funeral of Fred Rogers and said that he was going to hell because he loved people. I got to take my picture in front of them. They didn't like that, but I did. I guess you could call it a disagreement. But what gave me the strength to stand up to the hateful things like this was because I knew that Christ was love. I knew that Jesus is love. And I also knew the people that were with me. Oliver was with me. We were celebrating, not a political movement, we were just celebrating love. And in that respect, it was empowering, it was uplifting, it was a movement, and we would not let anybody on that day kill our spirit. We can do that in our world. We can do things that truly kill the spirit. Throughout history, God has never said, I'll just take care of it. Throughout our history, God has said, I want you to take care of it. I want you to this. I'm calling you to that. I'm doing this because I'm saying that you're the one that's going to carry this message. It's up to you. Are we in our world committing murder by killing the message? Or are we giving life to love? Will's going to play for just about 60 seconds or so, but I'd like us to actually think about this question here. How are we keeping the love of Christ alive? As Christians, it is not something that we just take in and celebrate in ourselves. It's about reaching out to our world, everybody in our world. Are we celebrating love? Are we celebrating the love? And are we keeping it alive? And how are we keeping it alive? Let's just think about that for like 60 seconds, and then Will will grace us with a song.
the summertime is coming, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild mountain thyme, it grows around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to the wild mountain thyme that grows around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? I will build my love a bower by yon cool and crystal fountain, and around it I will pile all the flowers on the mountain. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to the wild mountain thyme that grows around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? If my true love she'll not come, then I'll surely find another to pour wild mountain thyme that grows around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to the wild mountain thyme that grows around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go?
My prayer for all of us this week is that we look at the things that that touch us, that warm our hearts, that make us want to celebrate. And we look at the view of those things. Are they things that are things that we only agree with, or are they things beyond our scope? Are we allowing ourselves to learn other things? Are we allowing ourselves to explore other people? Are we allowing ourselves to see our neighborhood as something bigger than just a couple of houses surrounding us? I hope we can expand our love for each other. I hope that we can expand our encouragement of each other. We need to be there for each other. That's how we grow the kingdom of heaven. If you ever just want to know how to spread the love of God, just make sure that everything that you're mentioning has the word love in it. Love God, love yourself, love your neighbor. Amen.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we'd first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch